I started with homebrewing, making all sorts of different kinds of beers in my basement and my garage. And at the time, I really liked the beer I was making. My wife didn't like beer, or maybe just not the beer I was making. And so I decided I'd try to make a cider. At the time, I wasn't really that into cider. There weren't a lot of options either.
He turned our garage of our apartment where we were living. We owned the apartment, and then we had a garage, and he converted that into his production area. It got bigger, and he was more developed into the process, and he said, I'm going to leave my job that I'm at, and I'm going to do this full time. So I really supported him through that. We had a great opportunity up in Albany at 9-Pin Cider. They had this gathering of the farm cideries. So we showcased his cider that he was making. It was called First Leaf. It was the first one he ever did. And it went amazing, like as well as we could have hoped for.
We both really liked it. My whole family liked it, but you can't trust your family. We still make it today. It's the very first cider we ever made. We call it First Leaf. On a whole, we tend to be a little bit drier than some of the more commercially produced ciders. We still make some sweet ciders. Granted, getting into this, knew nothing about making ciders, so all I had made was beer, so I decided I'd try to make a cider that was kind of a crossover between beer and cider. Since then, we've expanded into, I think we made 25 or 30 different ciders, and more than that in just trials. Every apple's different, and every fermentation could be different, and certain things might happen, and you kind of sometimes, especially for me, because I'm not classically trained, I didn't go to school for this, I pretty much taught myself reading books, and it's almost listening to what the apple's saying and the fermentation's telling us, and then working with it. We use 100% New York State apples. Any other ingredients that go in, we try our best to get everything local.
Local is important to us because of our background. We're both right here from Port Green, New York. We want to support local as best as we can. We want to be involved in this community. For food, we started with cheese boards because he worked at the farmer's market for so long. A lot of the vendors, we wanted to support them in a way. So our cheese boards, the cutting boards, were made from a local guy who also sells at the farmer's market. The cheeses that are on our board are cheeses that you would find from the farmer's market.
We're expanding our menu and our ciders and what we offer here almost weekly because we're still so new, and we do a lot of that, almost all of it, based on feedback and suggestions from people that come in.
I want to bring people out to the countryside and enjoy a view that we've been enjoying for so long. I'm a yoga teacher, so that has a big tie to what I do here. I offer yoga classes here. So yes, it's about hard cider, but I'm hopeful that it's about more of a place and a scenery and a community feel.
We come from a long line of entrepreneurs, my whole family. I mean, we've got horse boarding, auto repair, electronics repair. There's all in just one side of my family is kind of in my blood. I grew up with it, and I don't really know any different. I always knew I wanted to do something. I couldn't be happier with this.